It's really a pleasure to be here with everybody, and I want to thank those who've taken the time out of their day to come to join us today. So I'm basically going to talk to you a little bit about my dad and what it was like kind of growing up with this icon, who, as far as I was concerned, was just a dad. I didn't know that he was an icon. He disciplined me. We won't go into that. But, I'm the youngest child of my parents, Herb and Audrey. They were married for 64 years, which to me was quite an amazing accomplishment. It made it very hard to live up to that, to be quite honest. I mean, who being with somebody for 64 years, but they were a team, Mom and Dad. And Dad stopped playing hockey. Most people know my dad for his hockey playing career, but he was really so much more. He stopped playing hockey when I was probably about 3 or 4. But Dad always put his family first. So when he had the opportunity to try out with the New York Rangers, and they wanted to keep putting him on a farm team, and he had been playing in the Quebec Senior League at that time for more money than they wanted to give him, he put his family first because he had a family of 4. And my mother was a stay-at-home mom in those days. Moms didn't work. She stayed home, couldn't do it. And so that's one of the reasons, even though he was good enough to be on the team, he kept beating everybody else out. They kept wanting to put him on a farm team. And who knows what might have happened if he had gone ahead. And money back then was not very much for any hockey player for that fact. So he actually retired in 1953 from playing hockey. And then he started coaching a team at, I don't know if you know this, if you're in Toronto, it was at the Ted Reeve Arena. And the coaches there, the management there, all wanted it to be win, win, win at any cost. And my dad wasn't about winning at any cost. He was about fair play, being respectful to each other. And he just didn't believe in that aspect, like you only play your best players all the time. And so that's how he actually started with the Future Aces Creed. And he started the Future Aces Hockey School which was one of the first hockey schools in Canada. And then he wrote the Future Aces Creed in an attempt to foster tolerance, diversity, and sportsmanship amongst young people. And when I was about 6, this was kind of unheard of because he wanted people to know how to play the game and how to play it fairly. And that's kind of his first start and he wanted to include everybody. So it was kind of his first avenue into being a better human being, so to speak. And so when I was about 6, they had this, This Is Your Life at McKee. It was a surprise to my dad. It was all about his life up to that time. And Panchimlak came. So many people came to talk about what a great human being my dad was and how Future Aces, way back in 1956, and it's only been around for about 3 years, had affected them. And so he said, let me take this further. If I can do this a little bit here, what else can I do? So he kept, you start something and then it kind of starts to snowball and all of that. But he just kept Future Aces. I mean, I grew up as a Future Ace, not knowing I was a Future Ace because we didn't go around quoting the creed or anything like that. But I always knew that having a good attitude was important, to try my best at everything, to give service. In our house, my mother had a whole display of my dad and his accomplishments as a hockey player. I still didn't believe he was as good as he was, to be quite honest. And it's not until years later I heard Jean Beliveau on it was CFTO, now CTV, on a show at that time, and he was stating what a great player Herb Carnegie was. And I'm there, oh my God, it was like that third-party validation that I had to hear to actually realize that my dad wasn't just a dad. He was actually somebody, if you get my drift. My dad was always a hard worker. He was always thinking of other people and how to make their life better. He was always an entrepreneur. And it was trying to show how these different people could all work together for a common goal. It was amazing, actually, when you think back about it. And I don't know if people know about my dad that he actually, you know, the boards that everybody writes on, you see all the coaches with their, writing their different plays and stuff down. My dad invented that. He invented it was a magnetic board that he used with magnetic men, and teams in the NHL used it. And now it's developed into, like a whiteboard that people write on. But my dad was the one who started that off and got the Leafs to use it and other teams to use it. He wanted to make a difference to young people. He wanted before that, he was going around to schools trying to get his Future ACES creed in different schools. At the time, it was Betty Stevenson, who was the Dr. Betty Stevenson, who had been a classmate of my dad's at Earl Hague. And she was the Minister of Education, and she said, Herb, this is a really good thing, but I can't have the different schools do this. They can take it on if they want, but it's not something that I can mandate. But that didn't stop him. He went around from school to school to school to school. I believe he met one of the people on the panel, Vivian, there at one of these schools, and, talked about how Future ACES could make a difference in the school. And that's kind of how it started. And then he developed the foundation as well, where it was to give scholarships and to provide bursaries for students who might not necessarily have an opportunity to have a scholarship, but he wanted to help people who emulated what he considered a future ace. And he was also a successful business person. He started with Investors Group, and he was one of the first Black financial planners that they hired in Canada. He's done so much. He's got just about every award that you can get. He has the Order of Ontario, the Order of Canada. He's in I don't know how many Sports Hall of Fames. And to top it all off, he finally became inducted into the NHL Hockey Hall of Fame, and which was like the piece de resistance, because many times before people have tried to get him inducted into that, and it finally happened. So I'm really happy about that. He's got a school named after him. He's got an arena named after him. And that was really cool, because when he had his arena named after him, my son actually tried out for the Ontario Under-17 team in hockey at the arena named after his grandfather. That was like a pretty amazing thing. And he also has an honorary Doctor of Laws, or he had an honorary Doctor of Laws from York University. He's received every Jubilee medal, for good citizenship. He's just got everything. He took the word ACES and he developed attribute statements for each letter. And, he was actually a forerunner in this. I mean, now just about every school and, wherever has a sort of a motto or a creed that they go by. It starts off with, I will develop a positive attitude towards all people and towards my work. That to me is one of the most important ones to me. I will develop my talents and ability in order that I may be helpful to society. I will take action with integrity. I will take initiative to achieve my goals with honest and sincere effort. C. I will cooperate with and respect others by seeking understanding with all people, regardless of race, gender, or beliefs. I will demonstrate courage, standing up for what is right, and speaking out against what is wrong. I will display confidence in all my activities without being arrogant. I will show empathy and consideration by advancing the values that are important to me and others. I will set a good example to others, taking responsibility for my actions. I will acquire the best education within my capability. I will be of service to others. I will practice good sportsmanship in all my decisions, demanding fair play to all. And my dad, what I wanted to say is not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. That's what I wanted to say. And I always remember that. I used to say that to my teammates in my sports, and they'd say, "Are you crazy?"
And I love his expression, make attitude your friend.
What do you have to do if you want to get really good at something? Just to take it down to a very low level, if I practice 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 11, and I do that over and over and over again, I'll get really good at it. What's wrong with that? This may sound really simple to begin with, but it's a very, very important concept. It's the wrong thing to do. So if we want to get good at something, we have to practice the right thing. Okay, we're going to do just a little bit of an exercise right now. I want you to sit comfortably in your chair, and I want you to squeeze your fist as hard as you can. Now squeeze your toes as hard as you can. Now squeeze your buttocks as hard as you can. Squeeze your knees together. Squeeze your shoulders. Crunch up those shoulders. Squeeze your face. Squeeze your face. Squeeze your face. Squeeze your whole body as hard as you can. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Okay, let go. All right, let's do it once more, and I want you to observe this time. Okay, Kalina, there you've got it. You released your breath, and you're calmer. That's absolutely right. So your breath is really very, very powerful. And when you get angry or tense, you stop breathing. And so if you're not breathing, you're not getting oxygen to your brain. If you don't get oxygen to your brain, you can't think clearly. So you want to get the oxygen to your brain. So you want to breathe. So the reason I asked you to do that exercise is because I wanted you to understand how it feels when you get angry or upset. Or if you're going to do a presentation in front of a class, or if you're going to go into an exam, the tension level goes up and your body reacts to it. So I want you to be aware of what it feels like when your body is tense, and then use some strategies to try and calm down. And the one strategy you carry with you all the time is your breath. So if you recognize the tightness, you can breathe so that you calm down. And you notice when you breathe and you're calmer, your shoulders drop. So observe that when that happens. But there are other things. Let's just do a bit of brainstorming here. What kinds of things can you do if you get upset? And yes, you breathe, but you're still upset. What other kinds of things can you do? You can meditate. Wonderful. What else? You can go for a walk. Absolutely. You can go to your room and you can punch a pillow if you're at home. You can go and listen to some good music. All I'm asking you here is to think of some of the strategies that you may already use if you get upset or tense or angry. So I'm going to read you a little poem right now. It's called Two Wolves. One evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside all of us. One is evil, it is anger, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." So, listening to that poem and thinking about practicing the right thing, if you get angry or upset and your habit has been to practice yelling at somebody or your younger brother or sister who's done something, and you may even hit, you may break something, you're practicing the wrong thing. And you need to practice what is going to carry you through your life, which is why I call this a life skill. I also call it a practice. It's just like yoga, just like meditation. You never necessarily get it right the first time. If you make a mistake, you're always going to come back to the practice. So somebody suggested that meditation is a really good way to calm down and to relax. And you can do this anywhere. You don't have to be sitting in a comfortable position. You can do it when you're riding on the subway. You can do it when you're walking. If you're being mindful, you can do this. So, and in fact, the Dalai Lama said, if every child in the world would be taught meditation, we would eliminate violence from the world within one generation. So we're going to do a little bit of meditation right now, and I'd ask you all to sit in a comfortable position, to relax those shoulders, to breathe calmly. And I'm going to start the meditation with the ringing of chimes, and I'm not sure how you'll hear this because I've understood it doesn't work so well on the computer, but we'll try it anyway. And then I will guide you through a quiet meditation. The first part will be guided and the last part will be silent. And if your mind wanders, that's okay. Let it wander, but notice it and bring it back to your breath. It's all about the breathing, the quiet, gentle breathing. Okay, we will begin. And you will not move until the end of the second chime at the end of the session. Okay, let's try it. Breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I feel fresh. Breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know I am breathing out. In and out. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. In and out. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. In and out. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. In and out. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. In and out. In and out. I hope that very short meditation relaxed you. It relaxed me. I was a little bit nervous and tense about coming on this morning, and so it was something that I wanted to do with you to give you a sense of it. And as I said, I guess a summary of what we've done is to understand what your body feels like when you get tense or upset or angry, and to use a strategy. The one you carry with you all the time is your breath. When you take a deep breath in and you breathe out, your shoulders tend to drop, you tend to relax. And if you have the opportunity to remove yourself from the situation and find a place to relax or find an activity to do that will relax you, that's also a good thing. I guess one last comment is that it's really important that you don't take action if you're angry. You calm down first. So if you get angry and you can breathe, you can even say to whomever you're having difficulty with, I'm really angry right now, but I can't do anything, so I'm going to go away and calm down, and we'll come back and talk about this. As I said, it's a practice. Don't act when you're angry. Breathe and enjoy. And I shall end off with a namaste. And namaste means, for those of you who don't know, I honor the place in you in which the entire universe abides. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.
Meditation allows you, in many ways, to be able to just be not just in peace, but in the moment to reflect and ponder. So I think, again, with what we're tying into, we really hope you guys can understand different ways to be able to be effective as a leader. And sometimes the most important thing is just breathing and concentrating. You got this. There's an amount of things you can unlock if you can just understand and be aware of yourself and be aware of what you're reflecting on and pondering on. Stay present, my friends. Stay present.
My name is Kairo McLean, and like many of you here today, I aspire for excellence. My athletic abilities never allowed me to join the likes of the future ACES on the ice. However, as a young Black singer from Canada, I feel an intrinsic connection to the story of your founder, Herb Carnegie. I was made to do a small project on Herb in my elementary school days, so I may tell you that he, along with Ozzie Carnegie and Vincent McIntyre, made up a trio that dazzled spectators and opponents alike with the Buffalo Anchorite Bisons. Alas, this information fails to guide one to the true and relevant history of a man and his country. By educating ourselves and seeing ourselves in the stories of underrepresented factions in everyday life, we can change the world for the better with diversity and equality. Like myself, Mr. Carnegie was born and raised in Ontario and took to his craft early. By showing a will and drive to learn the art of the motion on ice and a little help from his older brother, he was able to develop a knack for hockey at tender age. My first point is this, ladies and gentlemen. Everything you want to achieve is achievable through hard work and resilience. I like to look at the early parts of my career as an example of when I emulated Herb's attributes. It was the early part of 2022, and I had felt a drive towards my goal that I had never felt before. And through tenacity, I was able to pull through, and I fortunately won my first Juno Award. This is 2022, the picture that you have here. Your mom was so excited for me. Nothing you can imagine for yourself is unattainable through good values and hard work. And by building the want to achieve any goal by those means, you have started a journey to excellence. It is the 1930s, and Herb is trying his hand in amateur leagues in Ontario, such as the Young Rangers and the Observers, and making his way up to the ranks of the skating world in Canada as a first-generation Jamaican Canadian. Like many Black youth, however, this was the time when a negative worldview overcame greatness. One that turns people against each other for something as settled and as ordinary as the color of their skin. In 1938, Conn Smythe, head of the Maple Leafs Association, had made a $10,000 wager to anyone that could turn Mr. Carnegie white, a testimony to the feelings of a Black hockey player at the time. As a Black youth in Canada, but more specifically, as a reggae artist in Canada, I see firsthand the lack of opportunity, promotion, and encouragement in the Jamaican sector, just like Mr. Carnegie did in his field. Money and time, as well as space, are given to genres that reggae helped pioneer, but our music itself is never given that same respect. As I said in the beginning of this talk, we must open our eyes to the underrepresented points of interest in our everyday world to grow as a community for diversity. It is up to you and me as the next generation to build a world where we look at communities that need chance and equity in order to foster a well-balanced earth, free from monoculture and rid of supremacy. Prepare yourselves mentally for that duty as I continue. Herb faced a great challenge of discrimination and prejudice, but overcame it for himself and history, just as I expect reggae and all of you to do for the greater good of the nation. In the early 40s, Herb found his place among the semi-pros Buffalo Anchorite Bisons, finding himself on the front line with his brother Ozzie and Vincent McIntyre. he and his comrades began the rule of the hockey scene, picking up not so welcome nicknames like the Brown Bombers or the Dark Destroyers. Finally, Le Noirs or the Black Aces was chosen and stuck to the three like glue. And from the year 1940 to 1942, the Aces held their space in the palm of their hands, winning back-to-back titles and becoming the most respected front line of their time. This is a testament to strength and resilience, tenacity and willpower. When I got the opportunity to perform at places like Massey or Roy Thompson Hall, or even speak to the likes of the future Aces, I feel a twinge of pride knowing that I'm representing a genre that, frankly, has been treated like less than because of our demographic. It makes me proud to know that I can change the world around me by promoting good things when I see them instead of letting them pass because of internal thinking. Turning to Canada and about to embark on his closest brush against NHL doors, Carnegie joined the Sherbrooke Saints and hit the ice in a St. Francis jersey in 1946. The following year, Herb caught fire again with the Sherbrooke Saints and managed to score 127 points, 48 goals, and 79 assists, and in only a matter of 56 games, catching as well the attention of the New York Rangers scouts hungry for talent. He got the opportunity to present his skills to the Rangers scouts that year, however, was denied access to the team and suggested he join their minor league team. The Rangers wanted to keep the rights to him, but Carnegie would be suffering a loss, so decided to stay in Quebec, finally settling with Owen Sound. Herb retired in 1954, 4 years before the first black hockey player, Willie O'Ree, hit pro ice. Herb's dreams of joining the NHL were never realized, and he regrets the day that he heard he needed to be bleached to play there from Conn Smythe. He was denied the ability to play, not because he wasn't sufficient on the ice, not because he had a physical disability or a mental disorder which stopped him from playing safely, not because he was cheating or was playing unjustly, because he was black. The same regret that we feel for Mr. Carnegie is the same way that I feel about reggae and Jamaican culture as a whole in Toronto. Reggae music set the forefront for all ethnic black music like hip-hop, Afrobeat, and soca to be played and enjoyed by everybody, and built a legacy off of peace and understanding, yet has been crushed time and time again and removed from relevancy in the minds of Canadians for many years. When trying to get grants, looking for shows, or even just promoting your music on the radio, you have a harder time automatically if you're a reggae artist, no matter your musical skill. I think, however, that this is time for a change. Everybody deserves equal opportunity for us to thrive cohesively together in this melting pot society. And Herb saw it this way too, starting the first ever registered hockey school in Canada, the future ACES, an organization designed to build the youth of tomorrow up with the chance of equity. Ladies and gentlemen, Herb's life and his works during and after his career are remarkable. Herb was a golf champion, a predominantly and historically white sport until the rise of Tiger Woods in the 2000s, showing yet again that there's no reason you cannot be great in your field because of your skin color. He raised more than $500,000 in scholarships for the youth at his future ACES organization, and is a Canadian and Hockey Hall of Famer. Before I started this, I said not only by educating ourselves, but by seeing ourselves in these stories can we change the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you to uphold the future ACES creed, develop your talents, not only relentlessly, but conducively to society in order to bolster the type of community that looks for diversity and equity for all. I'd like to play a little song that touches on the topic of resilience and bravery in the face of adversity. It was written alongside my father, and honestly, I'm very proud of it, and I hope you take in the words and just understand the message. This song is called Rise Again. Whoa, whoa. Rise again. Rise again, Lord, Lord. Said if you think you can use your system to hold us down, down, down. We gonna rise again. We gonna rise again. And if you come with all of the wickedness under the sun, we gonna rise again. Come on, we gonna rise again. Hey, this war is not about flesh nor blood. And when we trample down evil and spread universal love above, now they come here with the military force and they try to brainwash education, of course. Hey yo, they try to control the world's natural resource. Yeah, but they don't really know Rastafari. Rastafari is our source. If you think you can use your system to hold us down, we gonna rise again. We gonna rise again. And if you come with all of the wickedness under the sun, whoa, rise again. Come on, we gonna rise again. Yeah. What are we fighting for? Yeah. Can't we see that we and them are at war? Imagine, it's not the color of your eyes nor face, no. It's not your class nor your creed nor race. It's fighting wickedness in high and low places, yeah. And if you think you can use your system to hold us down, Lord, rise again. We gonna rise again. Hey, and if you come with all of the wickedness under the sun, rise again. We gonna rise again. Yeah. Thank you. This one is called Born to be Brave, and I wrote it for the youth of today and tomorrow, just as a message. You know, I'd like everybody to be able to have the ability to be brave in their field and their class, and to be able to find their space in their subject, you know. So this one's Born to be Brave. Ready? Written with Sunshine and Broccoli, a children's group from Ontario. Ready?
Let's go. Yeah.
Ooh, 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 I sing, I'm not afraid to try something new. I'm not afraid to make a mistake or two. 'Cause I was born to be brave, yeah. I was born to be brave. I'll always try my best. When I feel unsure, I might make a mess, but I'll try some more. I ain't giving up, and of that I'm sure, yes. So sing this song, and you'll feel secure. Whoa, yes, I'm not afraid to try something new. I'm not afraid to make a mistake or two. I was born to be brave, yeah. I was born to be brave. Come on then. I know sometimes it may be hard, trying to find the light when it's dark. Come on then. Don't forget just who you are. No. And put in the work and you'll be a shining star. 'Cause I'm not afraid to try something. No, I'm not afraid, none at all. I'm not afraid to. Lordy, Lordy, 'cause I was born to be brave, yeah. 'Cause I was born to be brave.
You are a candle in the darkness, my friend. And I hope many other people can also see, and I mean many people, and everyone else is on this chat. You guys also should see yourselves in that same light. You guys are a candle in the darkness.
A good quote that I like to touch back on is, "Don't gain the world and lose your soul. Wisdom is better than silver and gold," by Bob Marley.
Right.
And I think the ACES Creed encompasses that quote very well, and vice versa. And it's truth. Wisdom is worth more than anything you could possibly ever want. And by educating ourselves about everything in the past and everything in the future, we'll be able to gain some wisdom, you know?
When you truly start to understand yourself, reminding yourself of who you are leaders. You were born for this. We're just here to remind you. If you don't need us, we got a creed. You can go online and check. It's all good. But remind yourself when you see people like Kairo and others around you, there's a reason you're here. We chose you guys to be a part of this because we see and we value you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, guys.